On the phone is Fox News senior foreign affairs correspondent Greg Palkot. Greg, you spent a lot of time there in London. You're not there tonight, but what can you tell us about just the climate that's happening in London? 3 weeks ago, we saw something very similar on the London Bridge. 3 guys with a van driving through, people who were just enjoying their Saturday night, plowing through that crowd, and then going to a nearby market and stabbing people. In total, 8 people dead.
Absolutely, Jackie. I can tell you that London right now has to be very apprehensive. It has been a very rough several months for the city. We witnessed an attack 3 months ago, almost to the day, on another bridge, the Westminster Bridge. That was a vehicle-borne attack, hitting pedestrians with a fellow getting out of the vehicle and then attacking individuals, including police officers. You refer to the most vivid recent attack that London has witnessed on the London Bridge, where again, the vehicle-borne attackers, 3 of them inside a vehicle, were hitting pedestrians and then, yes, got out and attacked. The police tonight in London are not saying yet that this is a terrorist attack. They are not saying yet that this is a deliberate attack, but it certainly sounds like it has all the forms of such an attack in some manner. My colleague Mark White, one of the top reporters there at Sky, notes that the counterterrorism unit from the Scotland Yard are involved, which at the very least leads us to believe that authorities are considering this as some possible kind of deliberate attack. But, Jackie, what is interesting about this is it possibly a copycat terror attack in reverse. That is, the incident on the old London Bridge and on the Westminster Bridge involved Muslim individuals who were attacking other individuals in the street. What we're talking about now is an area of London, Islington, North London, where there were throngs of Muslim worshippers leaving a mosque there, and possibly, according to eyewitnesses, a white individual was in that vehicle. Maybe others were inside too, and possibly, at least according to the individuals associated with that mosque, these worshippers were being attacked again. Is this some kind of a reverse copycat? Is this some kind of a revenge attack? These are the things right now that are not being officially said, but have got to be looked at very hard, Jackie, by the authorities there.
Greg, something I want to mention, the Finsbury Park Mosque was associated with extremist ideology for several years after the 9/11 attacks here in the U.S., but was shut down and reorganized, and it has not been associated with radical views for more than a decade now. But that's important to note there about that mosque.
It is important to know. I have actually spent some time at that mosque, and in the wake of 9/11, a fellow by the name of Abu Hamza al-Masri. Some of our viewers might ring a bell with them, because he was basically seen as an instructor, a trainer of individuals who were then marching off to Afghanistan, etc., with the clear aim of waging jihad, actually attacking American soldiers there. There's some terrorists that have been associated with that mosque in the past. Again, I think our viewers might remember Richard Reed, who was that shoe bomber who tried to set off a bomb on a plane in his shoe. He had spent time in that mosque. It is important to note, as you already have noted, Jackie, however, that was very much in the past. 2002, 2001, 2003, it was shut down. It was basically taken over by people who were not of that same ilk, and in fact, got rid of that image of the mosque. But yes, it is one of the, at least historically, notorious mosques that is a symbol of Islamist terrorism. But again, we have to be very careful. This is still early days. We don't want to read too much in what might have been the motivation of the attack. But that is, Jackie, a little bit of context for our viewers about what happened and is happening right now in London.
Greg, and it was just about a week ago when there was that massive fire at a 24-story apartment building in London, and Prime Minister Theresa May was getting a lot of flack for that. And Sadiq Khan is also, all eyes have been on him since the London bombing, the London attack with the cars on the London Bridge. What are they doing to stop this? Are they doing enough? All eyes are on them right now.
Absolutely. I've lived in London for 10 years. Again, I'm away from the city tonight, but I can tell you I've never seen a city in my time there that has been so affected by some really serious shocks. The two terror attacks that we already talked about on London Bridge, Westminster Bridge, in the UK in general. We saw the Manchester terror attack that was absolutely reeling. Young children attacked by somebody with an avowed Islamist message, and the country has been hit by other events. We've seen a very charged national election in the past 2 weeks, with a lot of people getting angry at each other. And yes, this horrendous apartment tower fire, which obviously had nothing to do with anything terror-related, but it quickly became politicized. Many of the victims were, in fact, Muslims. They were refugees. They were immigrants. They were of lower income. And there certainly was a feeling that the government was not doing enough for the lower classes, the individuals that were there. So, yes, there is the feeling that, and the Queen mentioned it just over the weekend in her own message to the people on her formal recognition of her 91st birthday, that she said this is a very, very dark time right now for the UK, and the people there are looking for answers, Jackie.
Well, Sadiq Khan just became mayor. What about a month ago? What is the feeling for him with a month into his time there? What are people saying about him? I know he's gotten into some heat on Twitter for some of the things that he said specifically to our president.
He certainly has, at least on the side of the Atlantic of the United States. I know President Trump was critical of what he perceived was a little bit of a don't worry tone in some of the comments that he had made. I must say, reading those comments in its entirety, I believe to a large degree they were taken out of context. And Sadiq Khan has been seen as a figure, yes, trying to calm people down, but also trying to make people aware of the danger there. Is he doing enough? Some people are not sure of that. Are the authorities doing enough to deal with terrorism on both sides? Whoever is being targeted, that's a large question being asked. There are some 3,000 terrorists on the most watched rolls there, and even and many thousands more possibly could commit something. The resources just aren't there. That all fits into the broader context of a little bit of unease in the UK now, because there have been austerity cutbacks in many different departments, and that includes police, that includes security, and for bodies on the beat, so-called. So, there's a lot of big questions being asked, and this, I am sure right now, again, I'm not physically there tonight, but I'm sure right now politicians there, law enforcement officials are just rolling their eyes. Like, again, now we're dealing with possibly, again, underscoring it because the police haven't defined this as a deliberate act, possibly yet another hit to the body politic of